Okay, first of all, I'm freezing in Utah. So I came out here to help my daughter and son. And I miss Texas. I have like 3 layers of hoodies on. And my son keeps telling me, it is not that cold. And I'm just going, I'm dying. So I'm so freezing, but that's all right. That's just because I'm used to Houston. I left 75 degrees and I got here and they said I think it was 19 at the time. And so I think it's 30 something now, but still that's cold. So why am I on here? The biggest reason why I'm trying to make a couple short videos. That's part of the reason why I came out here to help my son and daughter. I made a video and I put it on Facebook for my oldest son and daughter, and I have had a lot of response from that. And since then, I've had a lot of people asking me different questions. And ultimately, like my first video, I have been on this product for 16 years. And if someone is obviously introducing you to this video, I'm hoping they already told you what the product is. But I've been using isagenix for 16 years, mainly their cleanser and shake. They have unbelievable, numerous amounts of products, but that's what they, started with, is the Cleanse for Life and the isagenix shake, which is what I'm going to talk about mainly today. So the biggest reason, and I was thinking about this last night, it's part of the reason why I want to make another video, is I've felt really guilty for not talking about it. And I said that previously before. And mainly because when I started on it and everyone saw the results that I had, I really got bombarded. And at the time, I had 4 kids in 4.5 years, like a lot of you might have already known. And homeschooling and just the other things that were going on in my life. And I already had said I'm never going to do this as a business until I realized that isagenix wasn't built that way anyway. It was basically a Costco membership that, a cheaper Costco membership actually, that I could also refer people products, and that it basically could pay for my own product or more depending on, if I referred other people. But there was no me buying products and selling products. So the part that I felt the most guilty about is that I realized this that last night, the years that I've spent learning nutrition and food and health, and a lot of people come to me, ultimately the ones that in the last 16 years, the only ones that I've actually talked to about isagenix were people that had come to me already wanting me to help them with their health and wanting me to tell them what foods they needed to eat, and already were at had tried everything, tried to switch, they were on a numerous amount of elimination diets, and I would finally feel bad and think, you need to get on this product. And probably mainly because I just don't have time to talk to people ever. I'm just so overwhelmed with, not overwhelmed in a bad way, but in a good way, with 10 kids and homeschooling them, 3 gone, and all the things that have gone on. One's on a mission, another one's married, all the way down to having a baby. And so, but I started thinking again last night. So my daughter came home off her mission early. She went out for about 5 months, and my daughter's always had an autoimmune disease. And she always took the product, but didn't really take it like I took it. She didn't take the cleanser and the shake. She would take the cleanser and, to cleanse, and then she'd get off of it and take the shake. But since she was little, we just have a lot of hereditary things in our family. And so ultimately, as a parent, you're really stressed when your child has something that's wrong with them. And the thing is that even though now there's names for all of these things, like my fibromyalgia that I had for 10 years and how much pain that I was in, and all, going for 10 years and not sleeping, and then getting on this product and having no more pain. That's really what excited me at first. But then thinking back about my daughter now having similar symptoms that I had when I was younger, and especially when she left, and, went to college and then went on a mission and then had to come home, I realized that I just was running into more and more people who have these same problems. And basically what it is our bodies are not getting what they're supposed to be getting. We think that we might be, like, if we're trying to eat perfectly and, or we're on different diets from keto to the Whole30 to whatever, we're ultimately really trying to put as much nutrition in our body. And most people will sit there and say, or we have a child that's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, corn-free, or they're having reactions to something. We don't really understand the chemicals that we put into our body. I want to refer a book to you. It's called The Thyroid Cancer Miracle. And I started on it because my son's girlfriend has thyroid cancer, and she's drastically, gotten so much better. And I was reading into this book, and I realized it wasn't a thyroid cancer book, even though it completely talks about thyroid cancer and everything in there. But it really is like all the books I've ever read in the past, I don't know how many years, 20 plus years, compiled in different chapters, and it is unbelievable. In fact, every time I buy it on Amazon, it literally is the last book available, and it's sold out, and then when it comes up again. So really look for, again, that book. Because one, you're going to understand in this book, it really talks about you need to find a way to cleanse the stuff out of your body. Second, and not pooping cleanses and things like that, even though in this book, a lot of them, the references are about, because, they have cancer patients they're talking to, is really finding a way to get all of this out. And so, but that's not the way this cleanser works. But like I said, back to my childhood. So I had allergies, I had asthma, I had vocal cords, which I honestly think was my thyroid, now that I think about it, because the doctor was, it was exactly where my thyroid is, that would swell up, and I couldn't breathe. I'd have different things that happened. I had chronic coughing. I had, like a year and a half of coughing and sinus infections that never went away. And then I had fevers once a week. I started throwing up. I started internally bleeding. I don't know if even my mom knew that, but when you cough so much, you do get, you end up coughing out blood and things like that. And I don't mean to be gross on you, but so having a daughter, she comes home from remission and she is throwing up. She doesn't have every one of the symptoms, but she knew she needed to stay off certain foods, because I had told her for years, you need to get on cleanser. You need to take cleanser and shake every day like I do. It's not so much. I'm taking 2 to 4 ounces, but I knew what this was doing. I knew this was opening up my cells to receiving nutrition. I know that most of the products that are out there, everything from just, we've heard about high fructose corn syrup, which is in everything, literally shuts your liver down and it inflames it. And we don't realize how it toxed our kids out. You take vaccinations and how much they have in there, and how many, just everything. From the air we breathe, the water we drink, to food we eat. It piles up, and then we have so many chemical. I have an autistic son that was, at 5 he was a newborn baby, and we have rebuilt everything with him. He's lived off these products, and some people would even, can't believe that he really is, because of how well that he's doing. And we went through, rebuilding his brain, but really getting that proper nutrients, and also being able to take stuff that your body is able to absorb things properly. So, and the biggest thing I feel guilty about is because I made these videos and I came out here because I ultimately know my kids are in school. They're going to BYU, and, they're busy and they're working, and there's no time to be talking and explaining this to people. But I know they're going to run into people like my daughter. And so I wanted to be able to at least make these videos so that they wouldn't have to go through all the explanation. That they would be like, okay, this is something that's really, really good. My son's doing a cleanse. Obviously, he's doing it more to lose weight. I don't even know how much he's dropped. I think he's probably dropped at least 15 pounds because he didn't weigh himself before. But he's, that's just been like 4 days of cleansing. He's now to the 6 cleansing days, which runs for about 2 weeks. It's 2 days of cleansing, 5 days of shakes, and 2 days of cleansing. And then he did another 5 days of shakes and food and 2 days of cleansing. So it's really like a total of 6 days, but he really noticed how much has come off his body. And where, I have other people that they don't have a pound to lose. It's not going to make you lose anything. It's going to help you gain weight. I've had people who were dropping weight and they were gaining, because it's building your lean muscle. So, and I don't want to make this too long, but the key to this is honestly, my husband's used it his whole life, or not his whole life, since we've been on it for 16 years for weight loss. And it's not a weight loss. He literally, can do a 2-day cleanse and drop 10 pounds because it's the only healthy thing that's out there. It's not because he's pooping it all out. It's not a pooping cleanse. It literally is cleaning your blood, and it's feeding your body everything that your body needs. But more importantly than all of that, even though that's what most people they look at me and think I'm a size 2. I've had 10 babies, and they watch me have a baby and literally the next day be that same exact size. And it's because my body was getting what it's supposed to, that it could shed off what it didn't need. And so it just didn't hold on to stuff. My body was running efficiently. This cleanser that, and I'll make another video where I actually show each of the products, not all of them, but the ones I'm talking about. the owner was trying to find a way to cure his diabetes. And he knew that, first of all, when you're diabetic, you need the perfect food. And so that was what he was ultimately trying to get, was the perfect food, which is what blew me away in the beginning. I thought, my fibromyalgia was so extreme. I looked at it and thinking, this is just food. What is this going to do for me? I mean, I was already eating perfectly, I thought, but I had gone up 4 sizes, each baby. And then by the time my fibromyalgia didn't allow me to sleep anymore, I started gaining about 20 pounds after that. And I am allergic to all medication. I can't take an ibuprofen. I can't take anything. I can't even take an antibiotic. And so having this product and being able to drop 10 pounds and 4% body fat within the first cleanse, and then I stayed on it for a month and dropped probably another 2 more pounds. And staying on it just meant taking cleanser and shake every day and eating, taking a little bit of cleanser and shake every day. And then I did another 9-day cleanse and dropped another 10, well, actually it was more like 12 pounds, because I lost, right after I finished cleansing, about 2 more. And my body was running more efficiently. My organs were running more efficiently. And more importantly, I stayed on that cleanser and shake because I knew when you have an inflammatory disease, which most are, you don't realize that you might have organs that aren't absorbing nutrients properly. I used to be a trainer, and which was hard for me, because as being a trainer, especially when I gained weight and I couldn't do anything about it, I was working 6 hours a day, 3 days, or not 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. I couldn't lose a pound when I had my first 4 kids. I just was putting weight on. And I didn't think I looked terrible. It's just because the fat laid on top of the muscle. And I look huge now with my 3 layers of hoodies, because I'm so cold. And so, but the key is that I asked my daughter and I asked my son, I said, look, I don't have time to talk to everyone, and it makes me feel bad and it makes me feel guilty, because I see kids and I see what they're going through. And I know ultimately if my daughter had stayed on cleanser and shake, she wouldn't have gotten so severe when she left home. It's just that when she was at home, it was at bay. It was like, it's not that bad. And I would still get on her like, Braylee, you haven't cured this. You need to don't just take cleanser. But she really took cleanser. I need to drop some weight. They kept using it as a weight loss. And yes, we want our toxins wrap in our fat cells and store it. And this was, like I said, the only one that I could see that was actually not forcing your body to do anything. Your body was going to let go because it was for the first time getting the right nutrition. But more importantly, I've had so many friends since then. I have one friend that she normally gained 70 pounds in pregnancy, and she gained 25 with twins with me. And she found out she had lupus. And when she was taking cleanser and shake, literally was had no signs, no symptoms of the lupus that she had. I've had other friends that, from thyroid conditions to whatever, that finally their body started working right. And by just taking the cleanser and shake, they realized, oh my gosh, my body doesn't have to hold on to this. And they would start shedding where nothing else. And that's what was happening with me. I was the perfect, eating perfect, exercising perfect, and nothing was going to happen. And like I said, weight is not so much the most important thing, even though I say that, but everybody really cares about that. It's just hard to not be in control. And the thing is let's say you're in the perfect weight, like my son's girlfriend, it wasn't the perfect weight. She was too skinny. And so your body needs to build. And so having something that is the number one nutritional cleanse on the world, which is what isagenix is, it is the number one nutritional cleanse out there. And because it's feeding the body, not forcing the body. My little kids can drink it. I did it through all of my pregnancies. I took this product and I had healthier babies than I can even imagine. I mean, in fact, one doctor thought, oh, your baby has to be diabetic. You can't have an 8-pound, 7-ounce baby 2 weeks early. But I always have big babies, and you can't be that tiny and have this baby. And although I had tons of muscle all over my back, but I just didn't hold on to extra fat that I didn't need. It doesn't mean you don't want any fat, And so the key, and I'm sorry, I'm going on a big long tangent. The key is that if you know someone that has a problem, if you know anyone that have kids or anything, we're spending so much money. I know how much money just for myself to eat the way I wanted to eat. Like I said, just from those 2 cleanses that I did 16 years ago, and then ended up going, just taking cleanser and shake, I ended up shedding. I didn't shed more more weight, but I shedded more fat and my body shape changed and I went down to a size 2, and I'd never in my life been that. I went to looking like I was 12, and then I matured when I was 17, and I went to about a size 6'8", except I couldn't fit into women's jeans because my legs were too thick. I could only fit into men's jeans and stuff. And that was before I had babies. And then I went up. And any friends that I have, if you want to, if you want me to send you a picture of what I was at 17, I can. You can look at my legs. It's not that I was bad. They weren't, I had muscle, but it ultimately, I was not this like I am now. I wasn't naturally framed this way. No one ever called me thin, they always I was strong, or I was whatever. And then you put fat on top of that, and you just look thick, and, it basically, you get what I'm saying, it's, and so if you have someone, or if someone referred this to you, this company is unbelievable. There is no requirement to do anything. The membership is a $29 membership for the year. I mean, this company, I've never met a better company. In fact, I told them in the beginning they're going to go bankrupt on the way they pay. And I also was like, the way this product works, it's going to skyrocket. And I knew that. And I even told them that I would talk about it if I believed in it. And I haven't talked about it as much as I should. Not even kind of. I mean, for 3 years, I didn't tell it to one person. And then I would run into someone who had been sent to me, and then I would be like, okay. And it was mainly because I just felt like, is it going to be someone who goes, I want to eat salad, but can I put 8 scoops of ice cream on it? But now I am running into people that really are doing everything in their power, and they're stuck because they're not, or they're buying supplementations and their body doesn't know how to absorb that properly, or they don't know where they're imbalanced. The fact that when you start taking all these supplementations, half the time you don't know if you were like, you're deficient in calcium. And then again, if you start taking calcium, what about magnesium and vitamin D? You don't even understand how they all work together. Where I'm actually when I take the cleanser and shake it, my body, because of it being a food, and also from the amino acids and the enzymes and the good bacteria, everything that is in there that's rebuilding my body knows exactly what to absorb. And not only that my body is better at absorbing the nutrition from food now. And mainly because of that cleanser. When your body is open to be able to get the proper nutrients, your body will then, and that is what this is. With that chelator, it's like a key that opens up your cells to be able to go, okay, I can absorb. Because most of the things that people are taking, they're basically paying for expensive urine. The best way to explain this is like that thyroid cancer book that is, I swear, it's an unbelievable book. I mean, the guy who wrote as a journalist that went through curing himself. And he basically went out and studied so many different areas, and he cites everything. And so you can literally, like, one chapter is a whole book I read, and then you can literally go on, source everything and find it. And it's just amazing, like all of the things that he talks about and goes through and stuff like that. And my brain just died on what I was saying. But you get the point. The key to our bodies working. Oh, I remember what I was saying. Sorry. This is a real video. So in the book, he talks about this power food wheatgrass, which is a big cancer fighter. So growing your own wheatgrass, and that's what I was doing. So I was growing my own wheatgrass, but if you go buy wheatgrass at the store, you're literally getting about 2% nutrients absorption. And that's just buying the wheatgrass like it sprouts. So growing your own, when you actually you need to eat stuff right when you cut it, or you lose the nutritional value, a lot of it. So imagine what you're getting in the store. Imagine what our parents are trying to buy for our kids, or what I'm trying to buy for my children. Even if you're getting organic, which if you even find out how much junk is sprayed on everything, and what products you don't want to not buy organic, because what is actually put in there, you might have a better understanding, which is back to that thyroid book that you should really get. And if you have to get it on Kindle, I read it on Kindle before I even got it in the mail. And it blows me away. But my wheatgrass I grow because 1 ounce of the wheatgrass was literally like drinking, and that I would cut fresh for myself, was like getting 5 pounds, or not 5 pounds, sorry, about 7 servings of organic raw vegetables. 2 ounces of it, and it's so stinking easy, by the way, to grow. You can just get the kit on Amazon, and 2 ounces were like taking 5 pounds of organic, and I'm absorbing 100% of that. So imagine again, when we go buy pills or when we go buy whatever, what is our body absorbing? What's wrong with our kids? What's wrong with our parents? What's wrong with us? Why are we working the way we are? Why are we not shedding like someone else? It's not just their metabolism. It really is, where are we missing things? And so, and that's the whole point. It's not that I don't want to talk to people after this or people can't. I'm really trying to make as many videos that like literally explain everything so that, and I'm sorry, maybe like in like 10 years when, I don't have a 7 kids home still, where I have still my autistic son who, even though he's doing unbelievable, he's still like 5 years behind, you know, going through hormones right now and just and he's wonderful. But, you know, babies and little boys and homeschooling and college kids and blah, 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 all the things that go on with being a mom and stuff like that. And then I might talk about it more, but I'm really going to try. So if you have a question, and you know me, obviously you can get a hold of me. And I might send you a video to answer your question. It doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you. It just means why waste time doing a longer explanation when you can just watch it at your own leisure. If it's someone else sent to you, obviously get a hold of them. But usually you don't go search for isagenix somewhere else. You literally get a hold of them, and you sign up as a member, and then you, if anyone wants product, you tell them to go to your website, and they sign up as a member and get their own product. And what's nice is it does rack up, like kind of like you're getting a rebate almost, if whatever anyone else does, you know, and that will be another video that I explain. And the only reason why is this: I've never done this as a business, never. And I've for 16 years always made at least 50 something bucks a week, sometimes 200 bucks in a week, sometimes 100. But even not talking to someone for 3 years, like no one, not signing up anyone, not trying to sell a certain amount. I use the product every month. In fact, we fight over the product. The whole family has to use it. My son in Dominican Republic is like, you have to make sure you send it to me. My oldest son, who's not married, when he was on his mission, I had to send it to him. You know, he came back like this chiseled, you know, when most people gain all this weight when they're gone for 2 years. And he came back with not an inch of fat on him and looked like, you know, he'd been in prison for a couple years. So, the thing, and yeah, get a hold of your person, whoever referred you this. They're going to explain. They might send a couple videos that I did. They might send you a video that they did, but they will explain exactly, you know, help you figure out what you would want, what you want to do, how to cleanse. I have another video that that I made on the options of how to cleanse, because ultimately we still want to get the stuff out. And some people can't do the heaviest cleanse, which they call a 9-day, when it's really 4 days of cleansing, a week apart, 2 days and 2 days, because it's really not. It's more like a healing your body, and it has to do with like the health books that I've read. The more I read after the things that happened to me 16 years ago, the more I started studying food because of isagenix, the more I realized that half of it was in the product. And I realized that how amazing food was. And I really started studying the power foods out there and what our body needed. And I've used isagenix as a cheater. I don't eat perfectly at all. I want to, but I'm so busy, and most people are. So our shakes, I've never found a better one out there. And I guarantee you, if there was a better one, I would tell you about it, because just like I don't make a dime off of the trampolines I talk about and the book I talked about, I will always talk about the things that I believe in and stuff. And so hopefully this helps you guys. And I'm sorry that I go on long tangents, but have a great day. And again, get a hold of your person that referred you this. If it's my daughter or my son, get a hold of them and they will get you the information they need. But if you know anyone that are living the, you know, elimination diet, which is what I ultimately had to do, no dairy, no whatever, before I got on isagenix, because I really just reacted to all of it. And I don't have any of that. I don't have allergies. And it's not because I'm eating perfectly. It's honestly because I've been finally getting what my body needs. I mean, the cleanser bottle is a $32 bottle, and the shake is 40 bucks, you know? And it actually tastes good. And every time I turn my blender on, all my kids come running downstairs and they want it. And my cleanser, the babies keep stealing it and like drinking all of it. And I'm telling them, you don't need that much. You only need like an ounce a day or 2 ounces. You will. And so I keep going on a rambling. You can just stop this whenever and get a hold of your person. So have a great day. Bye.